Actually, it went through the wall a couple times, just to make sure. But the programmer that wrote the program for the ride, he did it once. The site engineer from Gerslauer did it, and so we made them autograph the other side of the wall. So that's the rule. If you run the train through the wall, you get to sign the wall. But it did. It pretty well knocked the wall down. And then something else that happened. I just love telling stories on ourselves. But when we got the trains in, they're brand new. They're crated up. They're shrink wrapped. We get all that stuff off of it, and it's made all the way from Germany, and we had it on a forklift, and we had been carrying all these the same way, and then we picked up the nose of the front train, and obviously it's got that big nose on it, so the weight is distributed differently, and it fell off the forklift and crashed, and so it got shipped back to Germany real quick. Immediate repair. So it's just stuff like that happens. When you got a big job like this, that you're going to have gigs, but you try not to. But that's the wall is infamous with us. And then another thing is you'll see the roof added right here. This was eventually when we built it, it was all opened up, and this was another glitch that happened while we were testing it pre-season. Was we found that if it's raining and all the friction wheels that are underneath the cars that launch it backwards, if they got wet and you loaded it down, the tires would slip and not grip, and it would launch the train out and it would start up the hill and then it would come right back down. So we figured out that we were going to have to try and keep those tires dry, so they just went ahead and extended that nice little section of roof over it, and then that problem went away. So that's what I was talking about earlier. With any new ride, you have these unforeseen things that pop up, and you just got to adapt to them. And then I remember that first opening weekend. It was really cold that weekend, and of course all the media was here, and all the guests were here, and I'm wound up anyway. I'm nervous. And, we were actually running this train at the minimum of what the temperature was supposed to be. And I just remember it was launching back out of here, and it was just crawling over that hill, and I was just picturing, I mean, we got camera crews here, people here expect this thing, and that was my worst nightmare. It'd go up and then come right back down. But luckily that didn't happen, so we made it through. And another little thing, the switch tracks, as you can see when the train comes through on the main line and comes in here, stops, and while it's pausing in here and all the fireworks are going off and stuff, and then the track is switching behind you. And I was talking to Franz, the site engineer from Gerslauer. I said, so are those switch tracks pretty reliable? Because you think about it, that's going to actuate and move twice every time a train comes through. And that's a lot of moving parts. And I said, so have y'all had any problems with the hydraulic pumps? Did they get wore out? Or he goes, I don't know, we've never used one like this.
So good luck, huh?
Yeah. You let me know how it goes. But normally that's what you do for taking trains on and off tracks for, go to maintenance bays or whatever, but they never used one in every cycle of a ride. So, but it's been fine. It's been real ride. Again, it's just a couple of things that happened with it when we opened. Of course, it's a real tight fit, because obviously you don't want to feel, when the train's launching over it, you don't want to hear that. So it's a tight fit, but then what we found during the summer or early summer when the temperatures started getting hot, and
Expansion fan.
there you go. Well, it got stuck. The maintenance guy was standing right there at the fence, because they gave us a heads up on that. They say, be aware that when it gets summertime, the track's going to expand, that might close up, and you could actually stand right there at that fence and watch the gap just get smaller and smaller until finally it tried to open and it wouldn't go. So then you got to get out there with a grinder and grind the end of the track off to open it up. But it's just one of those other things you don't know till you see it. But it's like I said, it's been real reliable. It works real well for us. And then pretty much what goes on up here, I mean, if y'all seen it, we've got lots of fire. parks. Big Bertha, the big rocket. She's temporarily down right now. Don't break that. Something that's unique with our park is that our operating season runs a little bit longer than what a lot of theme parks do. So we start out in the cold, then you go to extreme heat, and then you go back to extreme cold again. And it's tough trying to get a ride that can handle all those elements. A lot of that's air pressure, and then you get air moving through lines. First of all, it's hot when it's compressed. The compressor creates hot air, and then it goes through a pipe, and then it leaves condensation. And then when the cool temperatures get out, then that condensation freezes, and then you can have your valves freezing and locking up. That had a regulator on it that was supposed to catch moisture. Well, the moisture that got in that froze, busted the regulator. So, of course, we got that ordered and put on, but then thinking that was it, we're fixed. And the next thing we found out that whenever that globe froze and busted, the air was just constantly leaking. Well, when Big Bertha fell over, it's rushing all that air to try to get her to raise back up, and when it couldn't raise up, the solenoid was sitting there cooking itself. So we had a solenoid that burned up that's supposed to tell the thing to come back up, and we didn't know that until you get the regulator fixed. So it's stuff like that. And, the average person comes through here and they just see stuff not working, and we take it personal. We want everything up and running, but it doesn't make you feel any better when you get on a website and you see, well, that crappy place wasn't they fix their stuff or whatever. What we do is it just takes time to go through that stuff and figure out what's wrong with it. But it's our goal to be 100% both with rides running, all vehicles running, all special effects running. That's our goal. We do real well, but we're not 100%. Our uptime is 98.5% right now, but it's not 100.
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly. So it's just a little bit. A lot of the stuff in here we made ourselves. Obviously we make that can right there, but a lot of the rockets and stuff. We have a sign shop and a paint shop here on the property, and they just buy the tubing, the metal, the paint shop spray painted, the sign shop printed up all the stickers and stuff, and they stick them on. So a lot of this stuff is made in-house. Now we were talking a little while ago about the American Picker Show. I don't know if any of y'all saw that, but Dollywood was on it. I didn't even realize a lot of that stuff that is out here now was on that show until I watched the show, and I thought it was pretty cool. So they kind of integrated that show with trying to find all of our antique stuff to go around the country and find that stuff. And we actually have a guy here on park, that's his job. We pay him to travel around the country, around the world, and just find redeeming stuff. That's something that he thinks would go good. It's not like we can go down to a junkyard and find a lot of this stuff.
Is he looking to retire anytime soon?
Good job. He's been here a long time. I think he's been here for almost 30 years. So surely he's got to get close. But no, that would be a cool job just to travel around. Speaking of travel, I'll just give you a little. One of the coolest things I did was whenever we built Wild Eagle, something that B&M does for the company that they sell a roller coaster to you is they want you to send them two mechanics who's going to be working on the ride as they are building the trains so that you can see it go together. So I was lucky enough to be one of the ones that went over to Switzerland and got to go to B&M's headquarters, which obviously they're the rock stars, they're not the roller coasters. So I thought that was pretty dang cool. I got to spend a week over there in the fab shop and actually put together, we put together one of our trains, and then the other train that happened to be at that same point while we were there was the one from Thorpe Park. The name of the ride, the wing coaster that they built.
Raptor.
I can't think of the name
Smilers.
No.
No.
Smiler, that's a girl flower.
You're talking about the
Raptor?
coaster, right?
Was it Raptor?
Wasn't that like the first one that they built?
The first one was in Italy. That Raptor, Italy, first one was in Italy, and then us and that Thorpe Park one, Swarm. anyway, that was the other train that we got to put together during the learning process. So I kind of thought that was cool. That like I said, I put together the Wild Eagle plus one over in England.
Yeah, nice.
But that was a really cool experience to be able to do that. That's just something else that makes this industry.
Swarm.
You know, the swarm. That's
Swarm.
That's what I thought it was. It makes it a cool job to get to travel places, get to go around to other theme parks, and I mean, we're competitors, but yet we all have the same goals. And number one is we want safe rides. Nobody wants to have issues with their rides. We don't want to hurt anybody, so we share info. We'll go, a group of us will go to Six Flags, or we'll go to Nobles, or whatever, and get behind the scenes tours, see how they do business. They come here and we share, so it's a really unique job. It's been very rewarding. I've had a good run with it. I've enjoyed it. So, anybody else have any questions?